The next project on the Back to Basics series is the framework for a single bed. Now don't be intimidated by this project. It's not easy, but it's easier than most projects. In the next segment, I'll show the whole assembly going together, and in the segment after that, I will show you all the joints required. In the final segment, I'll do a failure test on the main structural component, which is this longitudinal rail here. As you can see, it's a really robust construction, and in the next segment I will show you the actual strength. All the weight is taken by these two longitudinal rails. The mattress, the weight of the person in the bed is directly set on these two rails here, which are then transferred to the four legs. So we'll do a strength test on this joint here. Thank you. Now this is a crude sketch of the single bed. This is a front view looking directly onto the footboard and the headboard, and this is now swung round to be an end elevation showing the support structure. The first joint we're going to do is this one. It's the headboard joining. There's 3 boards for the headboard and 2 for the footboard, and the same process with each. So we're going to show you now the headboard being joined together. Now the first thing to do when you're doing this type of join is to trim all these edges, make them absolutely square and true, because after you're finished, and always come from this end, worked down, always come from the same end, so you'll finish up with a nice edge to help with the fairing after you're finished. So these are your 2 reference faces, checkmark and checkmark, or numbers, whatever you like. You do 1, 1 here, 2 and 2 there, 3, 3, etc. So 2 check marks here, 2 check marks on the ends here, and 2 X's on the surfaces to be drilled. Obviously I've already done that one. So now what we do here is you've got your check mark here and the associated check mark machined on the inner face here. Now this is 7/8 thick. Remember the formula, 7/8 half is 7/16. Minus 3/8 is a 16th. So we install a 16th spacer in between the block and the reference bracket. You don't worry about the other end because that's just for extending or expanding the device. Okay, check mark to check mark. Bring it up to the end, check mark to check mark. Drill 2 and 3, slide it along. This is our distance gauge set at 6 3/4. Have to work that out before you start. 1 and 2, bring along in the last hole again. Drill 1 and 2. 1 and 2 again, and the same at this end. And that's all there is to it. And this is all accurate and within thousandths of an inch. It'll never pull out, and it's never going to fail. That's the headboard, no gaps, nice and flush, a really good strong joint. You could actually do, I've done I've done them in tandem. You can actually do 1 if you like, it's quite strong. I only use 1 in the installation because it's really difficult to get apart. Now the next joint I'm going to demonstrate is the one between the footboard and the leg, this one here. Now these are the 2 legs. Now obviously you want the footboard, you don't want it angled, you want it absolutely true to each leg. So what we do here is we make sure these legs are identical in length. So we make sure that they're absolutely true to each other. And then I know that we want the footboard to start a position 2 inches from the top of the leg. So we come down 2 inches and then we draw a line across there. Now we know, this is our reference line, and now we know that it will all be true. Remember also that when you're doing a line for this type of joint configuration, it must always be on the face to be drilled. You can see that there. Okay, now we follow the same procedure. Don't worry about the offset, it doesn't matter. A check mark here, a check mark there, these are two reference faces. A check mark here, and we have a line here, so we don't need a check mark there. So now we could center on this, but it doesn't really matter. What we just want is an offset. It's like I'm coming back about ½ an inch, so I've inserted the ½ an inch spacer between the reference bracket and the reference block. Simple process. Now we come up to the line that we've drawn to align them both, and in this case we drilled 3 and 4. Slide it down. Now this the distance gauge is set at 2 3/4 for this particular joint. Make sure it's level. Come up here. Drill 1 and 2. Come down. Just do exactly the same thing again. This is the last hole, and 1 and 2, and that's all. That's that one finished. Now, with respect to the footboard, I've already put dowels in this, so I'm going to demonstrate from the opposite end. So this is your reference face here. This is 7/8, so we're using the 16th spacer. And what we do here is we come up to this end, the check mark to check mark, check mark to check mark, come up to this end, and we drill through 3 and 4. Come down. It's exactly the same procedure. Into the last hole, make sure it's level, come down and drill 1 and 2. And then do the same again and drill 1 and 2 again. Perfect joint. Now the next joint I'm going to demonstrate is the headboard to the leg, and this also has a lower supporting rail below the headboard, so we'll be doing both of those. Now again, we've worked out that we want the headboard to begin 1 inch below the top of the leg, so we make sure, well, again, these are both identical in length, make sure they're square and true, and draw a line again on the surface to be drilled. And we take our Dowelmax. Well, first of all, we do the check marks. Check mark to check mark, check mark to check mark. Well, we don't need a check mark where we have this line here, so what we do here is we reference again to the check mark to check mark, bring it up to the line, drill 3 and 4, slide down, I use the distance gauge, set it 4.5, bring it up, drill 1 and 2, come down, in the last hole again, make sure it's level, 1 and 2, and we do exactly the same again. Now this lower one, the lower rail here, we have the headboard here and we have a lower support rail here. We use the extended distance gauge. That's this one here. set that up. In this case, it's the one before, so we're just going to put, we could put 5 dowels in, but we're just going to put 4, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. And that's the leg finished. And now I've already put dowels in the operating end for this one, so I'm going to demonstrate on the other end. So again, this is 7/8 thick, so we use the 1/2 inch spacer. Again, we go to the check mark, same as the check mark on the top here, flush here, drill through 3 and 4, slide down, use the smaller distance gauge, do 1 and 2, and again 1 and 2 at the end here. And then there's the finished article. Again, a very, very strong joint. Originally wasn't going to demonstrate this one, but it's a clear indication of how really accurate Dowelmax is. And what it concerns is this long rail that supports the mattress and the weight of the person in the bed. I wanted to make this width 7.5, and I didn't have any suitable lumber, so I had to join 2 pieces to do that. So I'll just briefly demonstrate that. We start off, as I say, the 2 reference faces, 2 check marks on numbers, 2 on the edge here, and align check marks with the check marks aligned on, machined on Dowelmax, bring up to the end, align it, drill number 3, slide it down, use this extended distance gauge, drill 1, now form the same thing along the whole length. This is about 74 inches long, so as I say, I'll give you an idea just how accurate the system is. I've only done 1 on this, that's all that's required. When it's glued and clamped, it'll be really strong. Now this last joint is probably the most important one in the whole construction. It involves this is the rail, the long rail which supports the mattress and the weight of the person in the bed. So we're going to demonstrate this joint here. So it's exactly the same over here. Now there's a myriad of choices you can put here. You could put about 10 dowels in there. You could put 4 and 4, or my favourite is 3 and 3, and that's what I'm going to show you. But there's all sorts of combinations that you can use. I've found you do the same thing again. You put the two the bottom the footboard legs together, make sure they're absolutely square and true, and do a line. We know that we want this 5.5 from the top, which would be the top of the footboard. Sorry, not footboard, the longitudinal rail. So what we're going to do, I found from experience that the best way to do this is to reference from the inside out. So I've installed this 1 5/8" spacer to spread the device, and bring it up to the line, and drill number 3, 4 and 5. And when you finish that, move it down, use your indexing pin in the last hole, and then drill 3, 4 and 5 again. That gives you 6 holes, and it's in a very strong combination. Now to do the long rail, we reference from the top. It's 7/8 again, so we use a 16 spacer, and we just do exactly the same line from here. Draw 3, 4 and 5, slide it down, use the indexing pin, and then again do 3, 4 and 5, and that's it, finished. Now that's one extremely strong joint. We are now about to begin a load test on the mattress rail, and in order so you can follow it here, I've extended the pressure gauge readings here. This is 1,000, this line, 1,500 and 2,000, in case you can't see the dial gauge. Now this is an exact replica of the beds. This is the horizontal mattress rail, supports the mattress. This is the headboard leg. So that's the whole thing would be up to 90 degrees in a different position. And this will extend a load here, which will be partial pull out and partial shear. As I say, this is exactly the same size. This is a little bit deeper to fit in here, but that shouldn't affect the failure readings. This is joined the same way as the mattress rail on the bed. It's joined here, and there are 6 dowels here, which I'll bisect it later and show you that. And so let's get started. You have to recall that there's 4 of these joints on the bed. So if this fails at say 250 pounds, it means that the bed load capacity would be 1,000 pounds. So we'll just see. I have no idea what this is going to fail at. I've never done something of this type before. So we'll soon find out. There's 500. Approaching 1,000. $1,200. Approaching 1,500. I think we can say it's failed it at £1,700, which if you multiply that by 4 is 6,000. That's like 3 tons, metric tons. So I think I can safely say that a joint done by Dowelmax using the proper glue and done properly will not fail and it will not pull out.